let's talk about product placement. We will start this lecture with a little fun exercise. I want you to remember, if you've ever been in this situation, or imagine if this has never happened to you, that you just adopted a dog or a cat. You got them from the shelter and you brought the animals home, but now the newest member of your family is hiding behind a couch or under a bed, scared for its life, and you are wondering if it was a good decision to adopt them in the first place. But you have patience, and you're smart, and you know that all of us at some point will get hungry. So you pick up dog or cat treats and you place them on the floor strategically, piece by piece. The first one closer to where your cat or dog is hiding, the second one maybe a foot away towards you, the third one next to you, and so forth until you place the bait, so to speak, in a smart way to make your new furry pet come out from their hiding place. Now, of course, when it's a new house and a new environment, it may take a few good days before the pets are coming out from their hiding. Sometimes they will come out at night while you're sleeping, eat the food, and then run back to their safety spot. But eventually, if the bait is placed strategically and continuously, day after day, you have a good chance to create a long-term relationship with your new furry friend. In my little simple example, you can already tell how product placement, or in this case, bait placement, patience and perseverance play an important role in eventually getting your dog or cat motivated to give you the results you're expecting. In other words, to come out from hiding. In commerce, product placement plays a similar important role as well in creating our motivation to buy anything. To give you a little history, product placement is said to have begun in the 1930s in the United States, when grocery stores started hiring special people that seemed to know the secrets on how to make clients purchase more of one product or another. And throughout history, since then, we could see strategic product placements in TV shows, in movies, in stores, online, etc. Do you remember that movie called E.T., the Extraterrestrial, directed by Steven Spielberg? It's a famous movie in which a boy named Elliot discovers an extraordinary-looking creature living in the woods behind his house. Just like we did in our exercise, Elliot in the movie tactically places individual pieces of candy to lure out that creature that he just discovered. Those who remember the movie also remember that it's pretty easy to recognize Hershey's Reese's Pieces as the candy that Elliot used to lure out E.T. And that candy choice was not an accident. The choice for Hershey's Reese's Pieces was a premeditated one. The story goes that Steven Spielberg, the director, had an agreement with Hershey's, the chocolate company, to use the Reese's Pieces in the movie, which they did. But the interesting thing is that that wasn't initially the choice for candy. Steven Spielberg initially approached Mars, the company that makes Snickers, M&Ms, and other famous sweets, asking Mars if they are interested to use their candy as paid advertisement in the movie. But Mars said no. However, Hershey's took full advantage of the opportunity, and that turned out to be a very smart decision on their part, because only a week after the movie launched, the sales of Reese's Pieces tripled, and within a couple of months from the movie's release, more than 800 movie theaters across the United States began carrying and selling Reese's Pieces for the first time. Just to see the power of product placement and the right time at the right place. So you can see that unlike an advertisement which is open and in which you overtly can see that's what it is. It's an advertisement, it's a commercial. When it's about product placement, it's more of a covert, hidden way of advertising something, because we aren't watching a product placement for the product itself, but we're watching it for a different reason, for the story in which it's found. We all know that every modern piece of media is funded in part by sponsors, all of whom want to showcase their product or name within the story that we see. Think of it this way. The attraction of product placement works the same as a perfume ad or as a hamburger ad that we see on TV or at a subway station. We don't really get to smell the perfume or taste the hamburger when we watch those commercials. But the commercial, it says a story that pulls us in, that creates curiosity and desire, which in turn will make us eventually try and buy those products. Product placement, it's becoming more and more popular as it gives results and creates new opportunities for brands to reach their target audience in subtle ways. Businesses are using product placement to increase their sales, their brand awareness, and to draw in clients, all without the traditional ads as we know them. In the media world, product placement is also known as embedded marketing because the product is embedded in another form of media. This placement of branded goods or services is often found in the entertainment industry or in the movies or TV shows or in sports and many other fields. Do you remember James Bond? What famous car does he drive? An Aston Martin. I think everybody knows that. But do you also know that apart from the Aston Martin car that appeared in the James Bond movies, there are also other 20 name brands in each of those movies. However, because these days we are so loaded with all kinds of product placement, all kinds of things in our face, most of us are blind to these other brands. In Casino Royale, which was another James Bond movie, if you pay attention, you can see FedEx, Sony Computers, Omega Watches, Louis Vuitton, and different other cars like a Land Rover, a Jaguar, a Lincoln, all made at the time when the movie was created by Ford, the same car manufacturer that makes Aston Martin. However, most of us only remember the Aston Martin. And that's perhaps because that is the strongest association that we have in our heads with James Bond. In most cases, these large brands have paid huge amounts of money for their brand to be placed in these movies because it's been shown that the payout can be even higher for that brand. To have an idea, overall it has been reported that Hershey's saw a 65% increase in profits and popularity during E.T.'s movie run. Aside from increasing profits, product placement can also boost brand recognition, which will benefit a business in the long run. At first, brand recognition usually doesn't generate immediate sales. However, in time, it will lead to that. In fact, the Journal of Management and Marketing Research estimates that on average, 57.5% of movie streaming and TV viewers recognize the brand in a placement when the brand also was advertised during a show. Statistics have been run and they support the previous statement. In fact, Next Medium, a survey company, claims that the brand recognition percentage is even higher when the placements are integrated into emotionally engaging programs. They attribute this number to the halo effect, which is a positive association with a show or a person, which leads to a positive association with the corresponding product. Just keep in mind that marketers, their goal in this process is for us, the prospect consumer, to be positively influenced by the brand without overtly noticing the placement of that brand. The goal of superior placement is to positively influence our perception of a brand, so we buy it ultimately, right? Product placement not only applies to subtle placements in media or in movies or in music videos, but can also apply to actual retail shop space that we see every day. Think about going through a grocery store checkout. How many times have you picked up a candy bar or a magazine just because it's right there, conveniently located for you at the cash register? Just as with media, big name corporate brands will pay top dollars for prime space on the retail floor and on the shelves. That may mean large ends of aisle displays, a space right next to the register, like I said, or even just having their products at eye level on the shelves, which is very important because it significantly increases the likelihood that a consumer would choose that product over a similar product that is placed very high or very low on the shelves. Brands will also pay slotting fees, which can be significant and are meant to limit shelf space for their competitors, being common practice that big brand retailers could pay large amounts of money for the premium shelves and premium aisles in the grocery or in any retail. These large fees can make it difficult for smaller brands or businesses to actually have a step into that market. So if you want to have a physical presence and sell other than online for your health products that you might have created, or for your workout equipment, or for your books, or for anything you create, you may not be able to demand top-notch shelf space at Walmart or any other store right away. A strategy may be instead to make connections with smaller local stores to get your product in front of the consumer, and even talk to bulk shopping stores, which may be open to a small end cap display for a local business like a Sam's Club or a Costco. And they are known for doing this. Of course, there is social media, which clearly pushes the traditional retail, marketing, and ad agencies to adapt to great changes in order to keep up. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, etc. And they're all used to share, to promote, and to sell products. Now, social media product placement, it's a little different. It actually uses influencers in order to sell that product. So influencers are the ones that are, promoting indirectly a product, many times overtly, but sometimes indirectly. And because they have such a huge number of followers, that product is going to be sold. Something similar even Oprah did on her shows. If you had a book and you got invited on Oprah's show, then your book would sell. Companies interested in this method will need to work through their marketing strategy to decide what works best for them. And all of it starts sometimes with finding the right influencer to hit your target audience and your budget. Or you can become an influencer yourself with time, with planning, or with dedication. Just as you can imagine, national product placement campaigns in movies, in TV shows, or in media are of course very expensive, but social media makes things a lot easier and a lot more affordable for small businesses. So small business owners should always try to use product placement to spread the word about their product in their brand, keeping in mind that the goal of any product placement campaign is to simply get a brand out there in front of its target audience. And we will talk much more in detail about how to do that in the upcoming sections of the course. I'll see you in the next lecture.